The Laws of Ascension, Chapter 125, Waking Up. Lorik slowly wakes up, with his body sore and mind pounding. His body feels as if he just got hit by a sledgehammer over and over for hours. His mind is in a similar shape, and it takes him a few minutes to even remember what had happened. He opens his eyes and sees the familiar ceiling of Valthorn's castle. Much to his relief, he also sees the back of a couch to his side, so he managed to avoid another panic attack from waking up in a bed again. There's an open window somewhere in the room, and Lorik sees moonlight filling the room from it. He can't turn his head or move, as his body feels heavy. He's pushed it too much, and now he feels like he's wearing a 100-pound blanket. Torvin always said, "I never listen to my body's warning signs." Lorik thinks before closing his eyes again. He tries to fall back asleep, but soon opens his eyes when he hears breathing. It's soft and coming from his side. He turns his head to look at who else is in the room and why they sound so close. He sees Vera sleeping against the chair. She's sitting on the floor with a blanket pulled over her. She has her head resting against the couch cushion, her long, dark red hair clearly displayed in the moonlight. Her hand is clinging to his, something he didn't notice earlier. His right arm, which he cut off, has been regrown using the law of life. His physical injuries were healed, but magic can't remove the toll it took on his body. "About time you woke up, Master," Nixfang says, speaking to Lorik from his soul. She returned to his soul after they got back. "Nixfang, why is Vera sleeping here?" Lorik asks while turning back to the ceiling. Nixfang scoffs before giving a reply. "Because you're an idiot, Master. You were asleep for 2 whole weeks. She's been worried sick. The past 3 days, she practically lived in this room with you," Nixfang replies. "Really?" Lorik asks while looking back at Vera. The idea of someone staying beside him like that is strange to him. He's aware that normal people do this for those they care about, but he's never considered himself normal. "She came and visited every day after Cyrilda brought you all back. Sarah and Rowan have visited too. For the first week, you had a high fever that wouldn't go away. She looked sad when she came to visit, but when your fever went down, she seemed a lot happier. Leora came too, and even took a break from her classes," Nixfang replies. "So what happened after we split up?" Lorik asks, a faint smile on his lips. "After we split up, I ran as fast as I could. Vera tried to jump off, so I had to trap her in ice. By the time she broke it, we were too far. So expect to get yelled at when she wakes up. Once we got to the battlefield, I slowed down a bit. I tried to avoid being heard or seen, but it didn't matter. They had some kind of device that detected any movement past a certain point. It was before their camps, so by the time we got there, they all knew we were coming. The wagon took a beating, and the other used their laws to try and shield it. Somehow, it endured the attacks from their soldiers on guard. By the time we got to the border, we had put some distance between us. They caught up on mounted monsters, but Cyrilda had picked up the bracelet's location by then. She showed up and teleported us back behind the border. Vera told her you stayed back, and I explained you sensed a grand mage. That's when you partially fused with me, borrowing the power of my law. I tried telling you Cyrilda was coming, but I don't think you heard me. Cyrilda went back to get you and came back a few minutes later. She brought us to the castle, and we were treated. You pushed yourself way too far. Your laws were raging in both your soul veins and soul. Combined with the fact that your body hasn't adjusted to being a 5th-tier mage, you were on the edge of breaking. Next time you do something like this, I'm freezing you in place." Nixfang explains and sternly warns, "I don't plan on doing this again anytime soon. Anyway, what time is it?" Lorik asks while looking around the room for a clock. "How should I know?" Nixfang asks, causing Lorik to try to laugh. He ends up wheezing from pain in his chest. "You'll have pain in your chest and legs for a while. You had several fleshy vines stuck through you, none of which were life-threatening, but will cause a lot of pain, at least according to the healer who removed them." Nixfang says as Lorik sighs, "I don't remember feeling them pierce me. Then again, it all kind of goes fuzzy a bit before Master showed up." Lorik thinks before lifting his right arm. He has his storage rings on it and his communications bracelet. He activates it, causing light to appear and form the screen. He quickly checks the time after closing his eyes from the sudden light. It's a bit after 4 a.m., so there are a few hours before anyone wakes up. Lorik? Vera mutters as the sudden flash of light wakes her up. She looks at Lorik before jumping up and wrapping her arms around his chest. She squeezes down, wrapping him in a tight hug. Despite the pain the hug causes, a small part of Lorik enjoys the hug. She quickly pulls away before sitting up and putting both hands on his shoulders. "Promise me you won't ever do something that stupid again," she says, a bit of anger in her tone. "No," Lorik says after a moment. "No." Both Vera and Nixfang almost shout. A faint silvery mist pours off his chest as Nixfang's voice comes out so Vera can hear her. "I won't deny it was stupid and reckless, but I don't regret doing it. I'd do it again even if I could go back and change it." Lorik replies while looking her in the eyes. She stares back before sighing and pulling back. "You're in for an earful when you're fully recovered," Vera says while sitting on the ground next to him. She has her back facing him and against the front of the couch. "Is this before or after I get to see you in that tiara?" Lorik asks, half jokingly. Vera doesn't respond, but Lorik sees her head shake a bit. "You're really bad at this, Master," Nixfang says, speaking with her soul this time. "I've never done anything like this before, Nixfang. Besides, it worked. I managed to bring them all back safe and sound. I even avoided being captured thanks to Master." Lorik replies, speaking back with his soul. "That's not the point," Nixfang replies before going silent. "I'm gonna go tell Master you're awake. She should be awake by now," Vera says while getting up. Lorik watches her leave before Nixfang sighs again. A few minutes later, the door opens again. The light turns on after Cyrilda flips the switch. Lorik managed to sit up on the couch before they returned. "How are you feeling, Lorik?" Cyrilda asks him. "Been better? But I'll manage. Just some lingering pain." Lorik replies while gesturing to his entire body. "I'd imagine. Now, Lorik, before we get to everything else. What you did was very reckless and downright stupid. But thank you. I'm not happy with the method you used, but I'm grateful for what you've done." Cyrilda says before taking a deep breath. "Now we need to talk. Can you walk, or do you want me to help you?" Cyrilda asks. "I'll walk, but let's not move too fast." Lorik replies. "All right, Vera, get some rest," Cyrilda says while motioning to the bed in the room. Vera nods as Lorik gets to his feet. He follows Cyrilda out, taking each step carefully. She leads him back to her office, and they enter. Lorik's surprised to see 3 friendly faces in the office. He sees Torvin, Soren, and a woman wearing a revealing and short red dress. It reveals her ample cleavage, holding up a diamond necklace. Her long, silky, light green hair is visible in sharp contrast to the pink mask she wears. King Eldrin is sitting at the table with them, and they stop talking when the two walk in. "About time you woke up," Soren says before Torvin waves his hand. "Ignore him. He's been worried sick if you'd recover," Torvin says, causing Soren to turn to him with an amused smile. "Really? Who was the one doing their worried snapping every few minutes the past week?" Soren asks, causing him to smile. "Hey, my new wolf was in bad shape. What'd you expect?" Torvin asks, causing him to chuckle. "It's been a while, Fox. Or should I call you Lorik now?" The woman in the pink mask says, "Call me Fox. I don't want people thinking we're close." Lorik replies while sitting down. "Is that any way to speak to the woman who came here to patch you up? You wouldn't even have that arm back if I didn't treat you." The woman says, causing Lorik to shrug. "I'm sure you charged an arm and a leg for it. Besides Lilith, I'm already dealing with all the cat rumors. I don't need rumors with you spreading." Lorik says, causing her to laugh softly. "Speaking of cat, what's the relationship between you two?" she asks, causing Lorik to look at Torvin. "Tovin, what brings you up here? It's pretty early," Lorik asks, causing Lilith to scoff. "We were going over some details. Calvaris has been on the attack since you got back, so we've had to change a few plans around," Soren replies. "Speaking of, did someone tell you what happened after you were brought back?" Torvin asks. "Nixfang gave me the rundown, but she might have missed some things," Lorik replies. "First and foremost, do you think you'll be recovered enough to move normally in 3 days?" "Well, 2 days from today?" Lilith asks. "Why? Is there something happening?" Lorik asks. "We're holding a ceremony of sorts to celebrate the safe return of Sarah. Now that you're awake as well, we'll start the event off by rewarding you for it." King Eldrin replies, "Do I need to wear a suit, or can I wear my academy uniform? That's the nicest outfit I own. Lorik asks. Wait, I remember you wearing suits when I sent you on certain missions before. What happened to those? Torvin asks. I returned them the next day. Lorik proudly replies. Why would I waste money on a suit when I'd only wear it a few times when needed for work? You would need to wear something formal, aside from your uniform, Cyrilda says, causing him to sigh. All right, I'll get another suit. Lorik mutters. We also need to figure out your reward. Kind Eldrin adds. Is there anything you'd like to ask for? No, but don't make me a noble. I don't want to deal with all that. Lorik replies. Now hold on, you should become a noble, Soren says, surprising Lorik. What? Why? Lorik asks. The black market shouldn't stay under the capital forever. We've been thinking we need to get some land, and what better land than one you own as a noble? Think of all the expansions you could make with the black market. Soren replies, Why would I do all that? You and Torvin have a good thing going on down there. I'm not planning on trying to recreate it in some far-off town. Lorik asks, causing Torvin to laugh. For the record, this wouldn't be enough to appoint you as a noble with land, Cyrilda says, surprising Lorik. Really? Lorik asks in shock. I mean, I don't want to be a noble, but I saved the princess. If that's not enough to be a noble, then what else would I have to do? It'd be enough to appoint you as a low-ranking noble, but you'd be nobility in name only. You wouldn't have any land. It would allow you to buy some land, though. King Eldrin replies, the reason being that Seraphina doesn't hold much power in the kingdom. As a father, I'm sure King Eldrin is very grateful to you. However, he's unable to grant land and a title to you for saving Seraphina. Had she been the crown princess or in a political marriage, then you'd likely be awarded land. Torvin adds as Eldrin nods.